The halls of Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters was buzzing with life, echoing with laughter and the scrape of sneakers and the occasional uncontrollable energy blast. You, however, weren't laughing. Your footsteps were slow and heavy with the weight of another failed training session before Professor Xavier had paired you with Cyclops again. And as usual, it ended with a lecture and a reminder that, quote, control is the foundation of discipline, unquote. You didn't feel particularly in control. Your mutation was unpredictable. Your emotions triggered it more than your mind did, and today had been a right big mess of sparks and shattered safety glass. You just wanted to be left alone, but peace was a rare thing here, especially when one gruff Canadian with claws and a sixth sense for teenage angst happened to be nearby. You're stomping around like a wounded elephant, kid, Logan said, leaning against the hallway near your dorm room, arms crossed, an expression unreadable. You sighed. Not in the mood, Logan. Tough, he grunted. I don't do moods. I do grumpy and then slightly less grumpy. You gave him a sideways look, your door half open. What do you want? He nodded towards the room. Thought I'd check in. Chuck said you looked like you wanted to fry someone alive in training today. Didn't want to wait till you actually did it. You hesitated, but then stepped inside, letting the door swing open beside you. Logan followed suit, his boots thudding softly against the floor. I'm fine, you muttered, collapsing onto the bed. Your voice cracked halfway through your sentence. Logan didn't comment on it. Instead, he grabbed your desk chair, flipped it around, and sat backwards on it like he always did. Arms resting on the backrest, eyes on you. You know, back when I first came here, I had it worse than you. I had a temper the size of Canada, sliced through a wall before I even made it to orientation. You gave a small snort to spite yourself. Bet Xavier loved that. Yeah, well, he loves a project, Logan said, grinning just slightly. Point is, I got a grip on it, and eventually you will too. He stared at the ceiling, fingers twisting in the fabric of your blanket. What if I don't? What if my mutation just keeps hurting people? Logan leaned slightly back before speaking. Then we figure it out. That's what we do. I don't want to be dangerous, you whispered. I didn't ask for this. Logan's expression softened, the familiar frown lines easing. None of us did. There was a beat of silence. You felt tears sting the corner of your eyes, but refused to let them fall. Logan didn't push, he never did. That was one of the few things you felt appreciated about him. He knew when to let you sit in silence without making it worse. I just feel like a freak, you said, finally, your voice quiet. Logan's eyes flickered to you. You think I don't? He asked. He blinked. Look at me, he said, gesturing to his sideburns and hands and everything. Metal claws, rapid healing, a tendency to growl at people, and basically the school's mascot for bad decisions. But Chuck gave me a chance, and same as he's giving you. You scoffed. But you're strong, you're not scared all the time. Logan shook his head. That's where you're wrong, kiddo. Fear ain't weakness. Being afraid just means you care about the consequences. That makes you smarter than most people. He mulled over that. Logan had a habit of not sugarcoating things, which made his words feel more real, more grounded. I broke a window today, you said, murmuring. Again, Cyclops said I wasn't even trying to hold back. Scott's a good leader, Logan said gruffly, but he forgets what it's like to not have control. He was born playing by the rules. You're still writing your own. He smiled weakly. That sounds like a fortune cookie. Bite me. You laughed at that, a short burst of a sound that made your chest ache in the best way. Logan gave a slight smile, and for a moment the room felt a little less heavy. He reached into his pocket of his jacket and pulled out a slightly crumpled energy bar, tossing it to you. Eat. You feel better. You caught it with a raised brow. Is this the secret to controlling mutant powers, protein? You asked jokingly. Nah, he said, shrugging. But you haven't eaten since breakfast, and I'm not letting you sulk your way into passing out. You tore into the wrapper, chewing slowly. It wasn't great, but it was right. It helped. Thanks, he said after a moment, for not treating me like glass. I treat glass better, Logan deadpanned, but then his tone softened. You're tougher than you think, and it's okay to mess up. You're a kid, even the adults around here screw up more than we admit. You cocked your head. Even you? He chuckled slightly. Especially me. There's a long pause before you asked a question, something that had been pressing in the back of your mind. Do you think I belong here? You asked. Logan didn't answer right away. He stood, walking to the window, and looked out at the campus below. After a beat, he turned to you. Well, you're here, aren't you? He asked. That means Chuck. That means something Chuck doesn't take just anyone, you know? He sees something in you, and I do too. You stared at him surprised, even more surprised that he seemingly couldn't get the words out. What do you see? You asked. Logan folded his arms. I see someone who gives a damn. Someone who is scared and still shows up every day, and that's what it takes to be a good X-Man. I'm not an X-Man, he giggled. Not yet, he said, the corner of his mouth twitching. I'll give it time. He headed to the door before pausing if he left. If you ever want to blow off some steam, meet me in the danger room tomorrow. I'll show you how to channel all that frustration into something useful. You smiled. It sounds like you just kind of want a punching bag. Logan gave a low chuckle. Kid, I am the punching bag. With that, he disappeared, down the hall, leaving you with a full stomach and a light heart. For the first time in a while, a little bit of hope. The danger room hummed with a quiet menace. Dim lights reflected off the metal panels lining the walls, and the scent of ooze hung faintly. In the air, you stood just outside the entrance, arms crossed, chewing on your bottom lip as you stared through the transparent observation window. Inside, Logan waited, pacing softly like a lion in a cage. He checked the time. 5:57 a.m. He told you to meet him at 6 sharp. Apparently, sharp was also his favorite kind of wake-up call. You took a breath and stepped through the automatic doors. They hissed shut behind you with finality. You're early, Logan grunted, not looking up from where he stood in the center of the room. You shrugged. Didn't sleep much. He turned to face you, arms crossed and brows furrowed as usual. Yeah, I figured. You get used to being immune and all, and brains like ours don't shut off easily. You gave a faint smile, nervous energy crackling just under your skin. So, what's the plan? You gonna throw me into a pit of death robots or something? Logan snorted. No, that comes later. He tossed you a pair of fingerless gloves and you caught them awkwardly. Rule 1, he said. No training without gear. Rule 2, do not hold back. You raised an eyebrow. Isn't that a little bit dangerous? Only if you're trying to not get better, he said, rolling his shoulders. Now let's get started. He sighed. Logan activated the stimulation instantly. The danger room shifted around you. Metal plates slid away, replaced by decaying cityscapes, all jagged steel and cracked concrete. The temperature dropped a few degrees, and the dull orange sky stretched overhead. Nice, you muttered. Very, post-apocalyptic. I call it Tuesday, Logan quipped back. Now let's see what you got. You hesitated, but your heart raced, and then you took a step forward and reached inside yourself, calling on all the energy you'd always been trying to suppress. Crackling sparks danced across your fingertips, wild and untamed. You clenched your fist, trying to channel it to form something useful instead. Boom! A small burst of raw force slammed you to the ground a few feet in front of you, leaving a charred, scorched mark on the concrete. You winced. That wasn't supposed to happen. Logan didn't flinch. Good. That just means you got something to work with. For the next hour, he pushed you hard. He ducked under blast, barked commands, and made you start every time over again when you lost control. You were sweating through your shirt, your hands were trembling with exhaustion and effort, and at one point you missed a shot and nearly knocked over a simulated building. Again, Logan said simply. You glared at him, panting. Easy thing for you to say. You've got claws and you don't have to think. He stalked towards you, tone very sharp. You think I don't have to think every second of the day about what I do if I lose control? I could kill someone by accident. I have. You looked away and he softened, then just slightly. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being better than yesterday, 1 inch at a time. You swallowed again, nodding. Again, he repeated. This time you found your center. Not perfect, not clean, but focused. You pulled your power and pressed it between your hands and let it flow like a steady stream rather than an explosion. It sparked and it hummed and finally solidified into a glowing orb of energy. Logan watched with a raised eyebrow. Now we're getting somewhere. The orb fizzled a moment later and you stumbled, knees nearly giving out. Logan was beside you in an instant, catching your arm before you could really fall. All right, easy. I think we're done for the day, he grunted. You sat down on the broken concrete ledge, chest heaving. I didn't even know I could do that, you said breathlessly. He grunted in approval. Now you do. You glanced at him as he crouched beside you. Why are you doing this? Training me, you don't have to. He gave a short laugh. Kid, I've seen too many people with power and no guidance. You got potential and I don't let people I care about burn out. Your eyes widened slightly. You care about me? He rolled his eyes. Don't make it weird. You're like a stray I picked up, bitey and full of attitude, but you grow on people. You smiled despite yourself. Thank you. I think. There was a pause. You remind me of someone. Its tone was lower. A kid I used to know. She had powers too, and it took her a long time to find peace with them. What happened to her? You asked. He was quiet for a moment. She figured it out, but not before things got messy. You didn't push, instead you looked down at your hands, which tingled slightly with the energy. I want to get under control. I want to be good, not just useful. Logan stood, offering a hand. Then keep showing up. You took it, letting him pull you to your legs, but your legs felt like rubber. Tomorrow, same time, he said, as you limped towards the exit. Can we maybe not start at dawn? You muttered. Sleep's for people who don't shoot lightning out of their fingers. Wow, so inspirational. He cocked back. He grinned. You'll thank me one day when you're dodging it. You made a face but didn't argue. As you stepped out of the hallway of the simulation room, fading behind you, you felt something unfamiliar settle in your chest, not fear, not frustration, or pride. You weren't there yet, but you were getting there. 1 inch at a time.